Alright, so I used to think that abstinence-only programs in schools were great. I used to think that that was, the only sex education that students needed. But there was something that happened in my life that changed my opinion. About a year ago, I got a text from my cousin, who is more like my sister, saying that she was pregnant. Now, it wasn't a complete disaster because she was 20, she graduated high school, she had a good job, but her boyfriend was a senior in high school. He was only 17. So she had been on birth control since she was about 13, which, a lot of people do for other reasons. So she knew, all of the risks that came with it and all of the different, things that could cause it not to work, including antibiotics. Well, earlier that month, she had been sick and it had been, prescribed antibiotics. So they waited, I don't know how many weeks, but she waited, almost a month before, having sexual intercourse again. Obviously, it wasn't long enough because she did end up pregnant. So like I said, it wasn't a complete disaster because she was 20, had a good steady job, but he wasn't. He was 17, he didn't have a job. He was a regular teenage boy who wanted to spend money on his truck rather than, pay to have a baby. So, pregnancy among teenagers, not just girls, boys too, it happens, with guys, is a growing problem among U.S. teens. Many teens battle pregnancy, and if it's not pregnancy, then it's STDs or inaccurate or lack of knowledge. Pregnancy, STD rates, and inaccurate or lack of knowledge about sex or sexual health is a growing problem among U.S. teens, and schools need to fill this gap. Everybody has sexual intercourse at least once in their lives, unless you're a monk or a nun, I don't know. But nobody wants to talk about it with teens because most people think it's a bad idea or it goes against parents' values at home. They say anything other than an abstinence-only program encourages teens to have sex at a younger age. But really, safe sex education programs informs about abstinence, contraception, unhealthy and healthy relationships, and how to have a healthy body image according to Planned Parenthood. Parents also think that it's their right to tell their children, not the school, which when I interviewed most of you in this room, a lot of you said that, when you first heard about sex, it wasn't even from your parents, it was from different sources. And most parents don't give the talk, or if they do, they give inaccurate information, or they don't tell you everything that you need to know. This is information that all students will need at one point in their life. Safe sex informs with accurate info and is useful at one point in your life. It also prepares teens to protect themselves, know what to expect when the moment comes, and helpful health tips. Parents and others need to realize that students need this information because it teaches abstinence and healthy body tips and healthy body images, and talks about contraception and how if you are prescribed antibiotics, you need to wait longer. That would have been helpful for my cousin to know. And human growth and reproduction, pregnancy, and so many other things that are very useful that maybe you won't hear from your parents, but you could hear from a reliable teacher. Safe sex education informs students for the future and prepares them for future relationships, starting a family, and staying healthy. Safe sex education is very important. Safe sex education helps reduce STD rates and pregnancy rates. Safe sex helps teens be comfortable with their bodies and boost their self-esteem. I encourage students like us to fight for better safe sex education because it's our right to that knowledge. It is our right to know all of the knowledge that is available to us. I also encourage parents to have their own opinion and to educate themselves on safe sex ed programs and not just to hear about how, what other people think. They need to have, their own well-rounded opinion about this. So, in conclusion, I believe that safe sex education programs will be a better solution for reducing STD rates and pregnancy rates among teens rather than just an abstinence-only program. Paige.
Did you find any statistics about how many people have sex before they graduate high school?
It's 2/3 of high schoolers by the time they graduate do have sex. Nick.
Did you find any statistics on like pregnancy rates at schools that were practicing an abstinence-only program versus a different type of program?
I tried to, but when I tried to find it, I just saw, you know, many schools who have tried to switch over to that, they have a big wall with the parents and stuff because parents don't have their own well-rounded opinion. They haven't really looked it up. They're afraid that, you know, it encourages their teens to have sex earlier. So they don't really want that kind of program in the schools. But, you know, if they would do research, they would, I think that they would realize that it's a better, you know, way to go. Oh.
Did you like find a percentage of how many schools actually practice like the safe-sex education that they have?
I didn't, but like I said, every time I tried to find it, it was just, you know, schools have tried to, but, you know, parents protested against it, so. I think it should be a higher number, though, probably than what it is.
All right.